best fucking podcast in the world. I am Lloyd.
I'm JD.
Well, the last couple of episodes, we've had some rants about some particular subjects. Why don't we talk about what you've been up to this week, JD?
Me, I've just been working, of course, as always. It's been super busy. I know. I'm just super busy. I've got a ton of stuff going on prior to my departure to Singapore to obviously film my documentary. And yeah, it's been busy. Worked Country Thunder for a few days.
Why the fuck do they call it that?
I don't know.
Stupid. There's so many other names they could call it. Country Thunder just sounds stupid.
And it tours. Like, it goes to different places. So it's not just like Country Thunder happens in one place. It's like, yeah, I know. It's going to come right out your nose.
The poker table.
So, I mean, they travel around. It's kind of an interesting
thing.
Thing.
Kind of extortionate.
It's because they have a lot of acts. I mean, it's 3 days. Guys, a lot of these guys that
like
are
Ozfest, that wasn't that expensive.
Yeah. You know, a lot of these acts that would come to Calgary normal, like what's his name, Dierks Bentley or Toby Keith. Or
the names make me mad. That's just good.
But they would sell out the Dome typically themselves, and they would be probably $100 tickets themselves. So I mean,
they're like, oh, we want more money, make the tickets.
Well, they're just, because they've got a full day of music, 3 full days of music.
Oh my God! You mean they have to sing for a day all their life? Oh my God!
But pretty interesting because I had never been to Prairie Winds Park for a concert, let alone Prairie Winds Park. I had no idea how big that park was.
Oh, man.
And, buried in the Northeast. I'd just never been
cares?
there. And I was surprised. Like, I'm like, how are they going to have an outdoor concert here? Like, where's this space that's big enough? And apparently it is right there. So, I mean, it was interesting to see. Again, country music is definitely not my jam, but work is work. So I was there working. That's, sort of how that rolls. And then I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on for the
pricks that were there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cowboy boots
I'm
and whiskey.
Cowboy. No, you're fucking not. Probably never ridden a horse.
You probably live in the Northeast.
Yeah. Lives by Chinook and wears Adidas tracksuits midweek.
You caught the C train there.
Cunt. Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, so I mean, it was it's interesting. Like I said, I'm never a big fan of that kind of music.
What's with the toothpick? Do you know?
What do you mean the toothpick?
The toothpick in the mouth.
Oh, I don't know.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Can you elaborate on that at all?
No, I cannot, because I'm not a country boy, man. Like I grew up in cities.
What the fuck? What? I don't get what the toothpick's doing. Do you have something in your teeth all the time?
Maybe it's too, maybe they smoke too much cigarette or cock. I don't know. Like, and they just gotta replace it with something.
Fuck, man! I'm used to having this cock in my mouth.
I gotta
need
put
this toothpick.
Yeah.
I don't like the mini ones. I like the cock flavor. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I see like 9 people at Stampede with toothpicks in their mouth. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, do you have a serious gap problem in your teeth? Are you like Madonna? Like,
I mean, I have gaps in my teeth and I get stuff stuck in there, but I generally have floss with me.
I've used a toothpick 4 times in my life, and it's just because you're in a restaurant and that's what they give you, and you got you've seriously got something up in there.
Yeah. And I find it's not very effective anyway.
No, it's not. It
when you're there with a toothpick,
your teeth.
You've got bigger problems, right? It's like, I need this out, but this ain't gonna do the job because you're trying to, back this giant truck. You should give one of those little handheld Dentafloss
things.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you see cowboys walking around with the handheld Dentafloss hanging out of their mouths. Oh, fucking gay. All right, keep going.
So yeah, I mean, I have no idea with the toothpick thing, but like I said, I mean, work's work, and as well, I've got a bunch of rock stuff.
You made a shit ton of money being there, so good on you.
Yeah,
I would have done it too. I would have taken pictures of fucking retards for a bit of money.
So there you go. I've got more rock stuff coming up in September. Got the music awards as well, so doing the Calgary Music Awards. So it's going to be nice and busy.
Calgary Music Awards. I can only imagine how pumped that is.
That's good. I sponsor the event every year, so
count me out.
Yeah. I know. I've never seen you there.
Busy doing other things. It's funny. You sponsor the event.
Yeah.
In what way? You give them money?
What's that?
You give them money?
I give them a cut rate on services.
Shame on you. Yeah. Shame on you.
Yeah. I just want to help local music and all that kind of stuff. So.
Does local music want to help you? No, they do not, JD.
From time to time.
No, they do not.
That's okay because big music does support me. So,
Yeah.
You know,
Calgary local music's not my scene.
No, you're done with that, eh?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, man.
And you know a lot of guys that are in that scene, so
good on them, man.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? So
I don't know. I find it hard. You know, are you doing it for a job or is it like
for what? For music?
Calgary scene, like. Okay, we know a lot of them. There's a couple of bands that I could see making it. Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna name names because that's mean. But there's a couple bands that we've met. We've had them on the show. They do good for themselves.
Yeah.
They put on a good show. Not my type of music, but they put on a good show. But I don't know. If you're in Calgary and in the live music scene,
I think at a certain point, you know, music's about growing, right? I mean, it's like anything. It's like us. We started as grassroots. We didn't think anybody was going to watch the podcast.
No,
it continues to grow.
Let's not fucking beat around the bush, all right? We got 14 guys that tune in right away.
Which,
you know, my mum's a big time fucking listener. And you know, iTunes, apparently there's all these fucking listening on iTunes.
And Google Play
makes
as well.
me feel like iTunes is a fucking liar. I don't know. If you guys are actually listening on iTunes, cool, man. It'd be cool if like maybe some of them could come on YouTube and leave a fucking comment once in a while because apparently we're fucking super popular on iTunes. But okay, whatever. I don't even know why we do this. Like, I wouldn't call this a fucking job though. And I like if you said, Lloyd, are you ever going to be famous from the podcast? I say fucking hopefully not. You know, I don't. I said to Jamie, like, we were watching a music awards yesterday and they were walking down the red carpet and everyone's taking pictures of them. If that was me, I'd walk down the fucking carpet like this.
Yeah.
Fuck you all. Good luck getting a good fucking shot. I'd walk down like, you're all fucking losers. I've got no time for it.
Yeah.
You know, most of the things I'd be invited to, I wouldn't fucking go unless you was paying me out the fucking ass, unless there was food there. Yeah. You know me? If there's a good fucking spread, I'm there. You know, I'll go fucking anywhere for a good spread. You could be like, you know, Lloyd, do you want to come to fucking, you know, some weird animal rights thing about not eating fucking meat.
So Paracon, the next time they try to get you out there, I have to tell them, like, you need to put out a big spread and Lloyd will be there. Get some, if you fly in hot dogs from Florida
I feel like,
for Lloyd, he will show up at your event.
I feel like the kind of spread that I'd be looking for is way out of their price range and you might as well just fucking, you know.
Well, and that's fine. Like,
but what, you know, there's certain jobs in the world where you got to move.
Yeah.
And that's just the fucking truth. Like if you want to be a seismologist, that's a word, right? That's a person. Calgary's probably not the best place for you to do your job. I've never had an earthquake since we've been here. I'm pretty sure that's what you do when you're a seismologist. Yeah. You're probably going to move somewhere where that job is relevant. I don't know. And it goes for a lot of different jobs. I don't know that, you know, I can't really name any like big time ones right now because I'm only thinking about one, but music for me is one of them.
Yeah. I think with anything, like,
if you want to be a famous artist, this isn't the fucking place. You know what I mean?
It's not.
Try New York. Try LA.
And I 100% agree. Like, I mean, if I wanted to bump up my photography for the next level, I would probably move back to Vancouver, or I would probably move out to
somewhere where it made sense, right? You're a full time.
I would move back to the UK, and I'd probably move to London, right?
So when I see these bands local, what's the point?
Yeah, I think
I'm not being mean, and I don't want people to watch this and be like, what a dick. Like, I play music because I love it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
people that want to make it their livelihood.
Because a lot of them, you meet them and they want to be musicians so bad. And it's like, you've got to move.
Yeah.
There has to be a point in your life where you like, I need to make the next step to this being a reality. When you see like these stories of people that have come from nothing and they're like from the hood or they're from the ghetto or they're poor. And, you know, I'm talking about all races, you know.
Yeah.
They came from nothing and their life was about, they moved, they went to where they had to go, they volunteered at fucking places where, you know, I watched a motivational speech by a guy that, I forget what he does now. I've no idea. I shared it on Facebook, so someone fucking watched it. But it was a motivational speak, and he talked about how he when he started off, the school told him he was retarded.
Yeah.
They're like, you're fucking retarded. Like, literally, like, you're under average, you're probably not going to go anywhere. And now he's like a famous radio host. He does something, and all he ever wanted to do was on the radio. And he volunteered at a fucking radio show, like getting them coffee. And he said, when they said get coffee, I fucking got coffee. When they, he fucking worked for free. He was there after school. He fucking hung out there. And he said the one day he was there, the fucking guy that was supposed to be on air, he got too fucking drunk to show up to work. Who was there? He was fucking there. And the the fucking people up in the head office, they said to him, they're like, you need to call every radio host and you need to get one down here now. And what did he do? He sat there and he just looked at his phone and he said, I'm going to wait 15 minutes. I'm going to call him back, say that no one fucking called me back, and I'm going on the fucking air. And you know what? Now he's famous and he does motivational speaks all across the world. He did what he had to do. He lied. He cheated. He did whatever the fuck he had to do to be a radio host because that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. I think it was radio host. So we're just going to go with radio host. And that was his story. And it was compelling for me too, because I was like, it's fucking true. If you want to do something, when I used to work on the bins, my dreams aren't as big as other people's. When I used to work on doing the bins for, recycling, I would look at the masons and be like, I fucking want to do that one day. Like I could do that. And now I'm apprentice mason. And, for me, that's like, fuck shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it took my girlfriend, I didn't even know, she was putting my name into masonry companies and no one was calling me. And one day someone called me. Yeah. And if it wasn't for her doing that, I never would have. Never would have, because I told her straight up when I was looking for a job, don't you ever send my resume to.
Yeah. Well, good thing she didn't listen to you.
And I feel like that's kind of how music is in Calgary. Calgary has a shitty music scene. Whether you're fucking famous or not famous, I've gone to concerts here where Ozzy Osbourne came and it wasn't even sold out. Okay, if Ozzy Osbourne went to fucking LA, it's going to be sold out.
So what you're saying, you're not saying it doesn't have necessarily shitty music scene, like not good musicians. You're saying that basically
you're not going to get famous here. Yeah, it's not here.
The support is not here.
And as a musician in Calgary, that has to dawn on you at some point. Yeah. And when we've interviewed many bands in Calgary, and it dawned on me every time, why are you still here? Yeah. Why are you still still playing at the Blind Beggar? Yeah. The Blind Beggar. Who gives a shit?
I think you have to cut your teeth to a certain point, right? I mean, everybody starts at the same place. They probably start in their mom's basement. They get together with a bunch of guys.
That's where
and then they go out and then they get the Blind Beggar gig. They get some bigger gigs. They move their way up. I think once you reach the pinnacle, so once you start playing that.
Fuck that. Fuck all of that. Fuck moving up in Calgary. What's the point? No one's ever going to hear about you. Yeah. Move straight away. Fucking fly for that dream instantly. Like if you said to me, Lloyd, I want to be an artist. Say, I'm good at art. You're good at art. What if I actually turned to you and said, JD, I want to be a fucking professional artist, man. Like I want to do this. Would you say go to ACAD? Or would you say, dude, you got to fucking New York. You got to go to LA. You've got to go somewhere where this is going to be propelled. Yeah. Like there's artists not even as good as me and you that have fucking shows in New York that go for like millions of fucking dollars. For instance, Dr. fucking Psycho. What the fuck was that? Right? Yeah. That's a perfect example. And you know how many starving artists I know that would fucking kill for his dream? You know what you got to do? You got to fucking move. You got to make opportunities for yourself. What did he do? He traveled. He went and saw artists. He put himself in the position where people got to know him. And whether he's shit at art or not, he strived for what he wanted.
If we're thinking about the same guy, this is a guy that was filming Banksy as well, correct? So
he put himself in the position to shoot Banksy. Yeah. He went to London. He went to see his cousin because he wanted to film art. He wanted to get involved. Yeah. Did he stay in his hometown and take pictures of art and hope that one day that someone would see it and get famous? No. He strived for those things. He traveled, and he shit at art, and what he did was fraud, in my opinion. Yeah. He didn't even paint most of those pictures. But I'm getting at the fact that he succeeded without talent.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got plenty of talent in Calgary, and everyone that sat at this table has some sort of talent, whether it be singing, guitarist, bassist, and I don't want to put any of those bands down ever. But what I wanted to address was the thought process. Yeah.
See, I think sometimes it's the dream, right? You think that you're going to get plucked from obscurity. I think a lot of it is exactly right. You are scared that you are going to be rejected in the end.
And if you're going to make it, you cannot be scared to obtain your dreams. People will say no to you a million times before they say yes. Yeah. You know what? And even same guy, motivational speaker guy, he's brilliant. I thought he was really good. There's a lot of motivational speakers, but some of them are shit. And he was brilliant. And he said, I went to the same radio station every day. And I said, can I have a job, sir? And the guy said, do you have any radio scene? And he said, no, get the fuck out. He went back every day and said, with a smile, like he'd never been there the day before, can I have a job here, sir? I want to be a radio host. He said no like 10 times before he said yes. Because and most people will. Most people will say no a million times before they say yes. But if you're persistent enough and you show that you want to be there, you will never not succeed. And it's the same thing with my tires that we talked about the other day. I never once, and this is a small achievement.
Yeah.
I'm talking about big achievements, but this is a small achievement, but it works the same way. Not once in my head did I say, I'm not going to be able to fix this.
Yeah.
Not once in my head do I say, I don't have the money to do this. I said, I will find a way to do this. I will find the cheapest route to do this, and I will do it.
It's the same thing with getting a tattoo apprentice, to be honest. Like, I mean, most people, they just show up and like, I like to be an apprentice. It's like, you can leave now. We don't want you. And you'll get
30
kicked
more
out.
times down the road, you might become apprentice.
And then, if you come in like and show every day, and there was people who would do it, they would show up and they would be like, hey, take a look at this work. It's like, hey, that's pretty nice. You take me on as apprentice? No. Off they go. Same thing. Like, come in, like, hey, take a look at this artwork. Take a look at this artwork. Take a look at it's consistent barrage, right? And then eventually somebody's in the shop who's like, you know what? They're good. They show up here every day, or they show up like consistently, not necessarily every day, but they're always coming back. They're improving. They're obviously working on it. Let's give them a shot. And then when they give you your shot, it's not like you're putting a chair tattoo people. It's like you can go clean the toilet and you can answer the phone.
And you fucking do it.
And you can do that for months.
And you know what? I don't think there's a scenario out there where that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't think if you are passionate enough and willing to go the extra mile, you will always be successful.
Yeah. There's a philosopher by the name of Alan Watts. I don't know if you've ever listened to his stuff before. He's a British philosopher, and he kind of goes along the same lines. He's like, when you ask people what they want to do in life, what do they say? They don't say, I want to be a garbage man. They don't want to say, I want to, do road works. They don't say any of that stuff. They say, I want to be a painter. I want to be a poet. I want to be a songwriter. I want to do all these things. And he basically says that, people become fearful and don't do those things because they're scared of the outcome. They're scared that, if I become a painter, a poet, a writer, a musician, that I won't get paid at the end of the day. But his argument is that if you go forward and you put all your energy into that passion, you're going to learn, you're going to get better, and then eventually you're going to be doing what you love and get paid for it.
And you know what? It can go the same for the podcast. We do this podcast every week, and we've grown a little bit. We haven't grown substantially, and we haven't grown to the point to where we could ever right now do this as a living. I would, if you could, because I get to talk. And, it's pretty much you're being a radio host, but you get to say whatever the fuck we want instead of saying stupid fucking shit they make you say on the news. Some shit they make you say on the news. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, we are, and it's a freedom thing. But if me and you gave 110% to this podcast, I'm sure it would be substantially bigger than it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we in reality,
what
do we do?
Zero effort into this podcast.
We sit down, we record a podcast. I'll do some social media stuff, and that's kind of it. And we're satisfied with that.
And there's a chance that maybe one day someone with the right fucking bells and whistles might see this podcast and want us to do something more, or give us an opportunity to do something more, or sponsor us, or, pay to have their advertisement in our podcast, which are all open things. If you're watching, by the way, we're always, accepting of things like that. But we've never strived for that ourselves. We've never gone out of our way to be like, listen, I'm going to hunt this down.
And
I'm
the
going to show up
opportunities that did come up, because if you remember early on, we said no because there was an opportunity for us to go to Vancouver, but there was nothing on the tail end, and it just wasn't right for either of us at that point, right?
So we've taken ourselves out of situations. I'm sure if we'd put ourselves back in a situation and said yes to almost everything, we eventually would be way bigger than we are now, or maybe way richer. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's not something we did.
Yeah. But, it also comes down to satisfaction. I don't think we ever sit down and say, oh, my God, man, like, why do we not have 10 million subscribers and all this kind of stuff? And we don't, kind of dwell on that.
$10 million.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not like we're saying, oh, we should be this. It's, we're fine with where we are. We're fine with the small gains that we make. Like I said, we had the opportunity to move to Vancouver to do this test project, but we said no. It's just, it's just kind of how it goes. And, again, if I was much younger, because I'm almost 50, and if you were, where potentially you were at that time, if we were both in that same situation, it might have happened a little different, right? But I don't think you wanted to move to Vancouver anyways. I think you were quite happy being here.
I want to move eventually. I just don't. This thing's keeping me here, but life's not like that, and I'm not hunting a dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dream is to have a family.
Yeah.
Which I have. So I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah, which is good. And like I said, I mean, it's, if you want to go out and you want to hustle that thing, I mean, you can definitely go out and do that. And your points of moving to New York,
but I guess that was my point with the music here. And it was like, are you really hunting, or are you doing this for like the reason we do it? Because
I guarantee you there are bands out there that are just happy to go up on a stage, play somebody else's music, get paid a few bucks, drink a few beers every weekend, and that's their fun, right? Doesn't make them really any less of a musician, although some people argue that. But essentially, at the end of the day, you're doing what you want to do. People are satisfied there.
We've had a lot of people on here, though.
There's a lot of people that are dissatisfied because
I think a lot of people that we had on could really argue that, though. Yeah. Like, what are you arguing against, motherfucker? You were just on the Lloyd and JD show. If you were fucking famous, you wouldn't have been on the Lloyd and JD show. So fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, as far as I'm concerned, every person that I know and every person that has been on this show should be humble as fuck, because, and I know one or two that aren't.
Yeah.
And we've had arguments with them in the past. And you should be humble as fuck, because believe it or not, you was on the fucking Lloyd and JD show. And when you was on the Lloyd and JD show, we weren't even as popular as we are now.
Yeah.
So you fuck right off.
Yeah.
And did you share your own videos? Did you like your own videos? No, you fucking didn't.
Well, and that's kind of the interesting thing as well.
So you can't even turn around and say that we got popular off your back, because the only people pushing the fucking podcast here is me and you.
And we did push fairly hard at that time.
At that time, we were pushing very hard. Yeah. There was a time where I was even involved in social media, which is fucking nuts, because I barely go on my own Facebook.
Yeah. And we made some great gains at that time, and it just goes to show you, it's like if you put in, you get out, and again, it depends, like ultimately at the end of the day, just be happy with what you're doing.
But I think what we put in, I wasn't happy with what we got out, and I feel like neither were you, and that's why we made a big change. And you'll find that now our videos now are just more down to earth. I say whatever the fuck I want at this point.
Yeah.
I've touched bases on a lot of things. A lot of people don't like me. A lot of people like me.
Yeah. And that's always been.
I think
at
the beginning we were searching for everyone to like us.
Yeah.
And that's fucking impossible. And it's almost easier just everyone.
And we're not, because I mean, we both, I think, to a large degree, both of us have polarizing personalities for people. I mean, we get along great, but I think a lot of people, they don't like me. I think a lot of people don't like you. It's just kind of one of those weird things. And I think it's because we have always said what we want to say.
And it's easier to say things to us on this on YouTube than it is in real person, because when I'm in person, no one says fucking shit to me. And I'm the same fucking person in real life as you see on this fucking camera. If you know me in real life, this is me. This is what you get. You know that. That's why we started the podcast.
Well, and exactly. And I'm the same way. It's because like if you say like something and I disagree, I'm going to disagree.
We would get together for a coffee once a week, and we would talk shit, and we were like, fuck it. Let's just
record this shit for science. Yeah.
And so you've never really gotten any, and I think there was a time in there where we were interviewing bands where it became less about me and you and
more about the bands.
And more about the bands, and it became distorted, and it became a job, and it was something that I wasn't, I'm not interested in this at all.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, if I wanted to interview music and bands, I mean, I can do that anyways. I didn't really want this to be that anyways. It's just kind of like, hey, let's get some different people in. Let's get some different perspectives. And I feel like then it became the main thing.
That's where the dream ended, because the dream wasn't to interview people and have a job, because the places that we could have gone with this podcast would have ended up resulting in us doing certain things that we necessarily wouldn't usually do. Yeah. Where if this ever became a job for me, it would have to be exactly this.
Yeah.
Me doing what I want. There's no one out there that could hire me and be like, as far as I'd go is to say someone's ad. But after that, I say whatever the fuck I want. I
mean, we've had some great guests too that were non-musicians, and I found those to be very good podcasts sometimes, that we had people that had really kind of weird stuff. And
it was good, but confusing to me, because it was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I interviewing this person? I'm fucking nobody. Who gives a shit about what I think? The whole point of this podcast was to just share our ideas, which are drastically different from 90% of the population. Otherwise, Earth would be a better place. So I think this podcast was more for the 10% that agreed with us. That were like, "Fuck yeah, finally someone that fucking says it how it is."
Not going to sit there and sugarcoat it and say
But when we were interviewing these people, we started sugarcoating shit.
Absolutely.
So as much as it was like good to have these interesting people on, there was so much sugarcoating going on.
Yeah.
That this place was sweeter than a fucking root beer. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
You know what? One of the funny things is with this podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of the Alberta Podcast Network, but they give dollars for advertising, and I talked to them at one point and all that kind of stuff. And I guess in the same sense, when they didn't like us, that they gave us probably one of the best compliments, and I don't think they meant it as complimentary, but they said, a Joe Rogan podcast is not what we're looking for. and to me, it's like, fuck yeah, Joe Rogan. Like I love his podcast.
Podcasters out there,
exactly, right? It's like if I had a network, I would put Joe Rogan wanted to be on my podcast. I'd be like, fucking put Joe Rogan on there.
And I think that's where, like, if we were ever gonna have people back on the show, that's where it'd have to come down to, where, you know, there's a chance you might get insulted on the show. Like, there's been a lot of sugarcoating that's gone on in the past, which made me feel sick, you know, and that's not the job I want, and that's not what I'd ever want to do. Yeah. The only way that this would ever become a job for me was if I was allowed to sit here and say the same fucking shit that I say now, exactly what I want to fucking say. Because that's what this is all about. This is Lloyd and JD. No one else is fucking in this room right now. It's just me and you. This is weird as fuck. We do this every week. Yeah. This is a conversation between me and you. There's people listening on iTunes right now, people listening on YouTube, watching my face. That doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah. I don't know fucking any of you. You guys don't really, you know me more than I know you. Yeah. But this is real. This is just a conversation between two people that have things on their minds, and they share their anger, and we share our, you know, sorrow. We share lots of different things. We've talked about lots of different subjects, but it's still real as fuck. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's anyone out there right now that's willing to pay for something that's just this. Yeah. Because this is what it is. You watch these YouTubers that get big and they're just fake little fucking sugarcoating punks. Like, even the ones that do press on things that, like, maybe interest me a little bit, they're still really, it's a fucking job, and you got to watch what you say, and you got to watch what you do.
You know what's funny with all that kind of stuff, and I will say this, like, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of conversations about mental health and YouTube and all that kind of, you know, stuff that revolves around that. I think that a lot of these people that do YouTube and get big and are doing these things, they're dying inside in a lot of cases, because it's number one, it becomes such a job. And I mean, a lot of them are soul produced. Like, I mean,
they don't even know what to do with their money. Some of them.
There's nobody else in here. There's no cameraman. There's no lighting. There's no director. There's no teleprompter. There's no anything like that. There's nobody that
and imagine
wrote
being
our
pumped
stuff
every day on your own in front of a camera, trying to be pumped. It's not normal.
It's not normal at all.
I'm not pumped every day. Some of these podcasts we do, I come in here angry. You know what I mean? I'm instantly on something. Like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. I can't be positive every day. Yeah. But it's not even about being positive. It's about being fake every day. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. When you're fake every day, it's going to rot your inside, right?
Wear you down. Yeah. And you know, I never want to do that. This whole point was just about talking and you know, sharing things with people, how we feel. Yeah. It's not about how you feel. You know, if you want to have a show with your name on the front of it, you fucking talk about how you feel. But
and people sometimes do let us know what they feel in the comments, and you're more than welcome to do that.
And I don't read them. So once again, we're at square one.
There you go.
I don't give a fuck.
And on that note, that's all we've got time for.
Well, thanks for listening. If you are listening, thanks for tuning in. If you did tune in, other than that, fuck it. It didn't matter. It's just me and you sitting in a room anyway. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
Peace.
See ya.